Hello. Let's play again. Archon quest. Let's go. Okay, so Wonder, I kind of wonder, yes. Will changing him will also change his name here too. Okay. Kaze. Okay, so how many do I need for her to be homo? 2, 6, 20, sorry, 14 and 26. Right? Oh.
この同点
Oh, you should have 9 now. Like you could fight her.
同点について
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's do the quest. Unable to, obviously. Smell.
Mine.
しかし、あなたの意見に合わせると、この物語はサスペンスになってしまうぞ。私が書きたいのは論文だ。論文とは何かわかるか？厳密さが求められるんだ。
では君の言葉を借りて、厳密さを求めるのであれば、最初からタタラスナの疑惑などというテーマにはするべきじゃない。決めつけられないことなんだから、交渉として書くことしかできないだろう。
課題は確かに恩師から受け継いだものだ。だがこういう話というのはどうしたって興味をそそられてしまうだろう。不可思議な場所、知られざるその細部、謎の人物。好奇心からそうした論文を書きたいと思い立ったんだ。だからあなたに頼んでいるのではないか、澤田先生。
赤羽さん、僕にお願いしに来た以上は、もっと僕の意見にも耳を傾けてもらわないと。ドラマ性というのは小説の核心。こればかりは仕方のないことなんだ。
いや、それは。
あそこの二人タタラスナの話をしてないか？でもあれは稲妻の地名だよな。スメール人が稲妻の謎の事件を研究してて、そのために論文まで。周 周りの人はおかしいとも思ってない様子だし、スメールの学術的雰囲気ってやつは本当に自由だな。
Feel let's go and listen.
ちょうどあいつらが話してるタタラスナの疑惑が何なのか確認してみようぜ。
では書稿は私の交渉をもとに澤田先生に編集してもらう方向で進めよう。今回の文章においてはきっと失踪した歌舞伎者が論説の肝となるだろう。はあ、名高い旅人が見つかればいいのだが、彼は見識が広いという話だ。何か知っているかもしれない。
Looking for me? If you're looking for the traveler, that's me.
お、こちらが旅人さんか。
おい、その顔はなんだよ。オイラたちを疑ってるのか？
If you don't believe me, I'll go.
いやいやいや、もちろんそういうことではない。旅人さんのご尊名は稲妻にいた頃から耳にしている。初めて君とその謎の白い仲間を目にしたもので、好奇心からつい観察してしまった。職業病というやつだ。すまん。
澤田先生と来たらまったくすまないな。私たちはどちらも家に長くこもる性分ゆえ、少々社会性に問題があるんだ。旅人さん、あなたはみんなをたくさん手伝い、いろんなところへ行ったと聞いている。そこで一つタタラスナの話をしてくれないだろうか。
けど、オイラたちもあそこについてはよくわからないんだ。お前たちが話しているのを聞いて興味があったから来たんだ。
ああ、やはりそうなのか。
Sorry, I can't help.
前に恩師もこの課題を選んだのは難易度が高くて挑戦のしがいがあるからだと言っていた。稲妻の現地の人でさえタタラスナの昔の出来事はあまり知らないからと。ただ、
もしよければの話だが、皆さんに僕のタタラスナ事件に関する捜索の方向性を見てもらいたい。
ちょっと待った、澤田先生。最初からそれだと分かりづらいのでは。
それもそうだな。じゃあまず若葉さんの論文の書稿を見てもらおう。
紹介しよう。まずタタラスナ地区でとある資料を見つけた人がいたんだが、その中では三越長政という人が良い刀を打ち出したことに言及されていた。しかし彼は最後にこの刀を火に投げ入れて溶かしてしまったらしい。その上、葛城という手下を殺してしまったというんだ。理由については誰にもわからない。ただこの長政とその手下、そして物語を記録した人物以外に資料の中にはとある歌舞伎者についての言及があった。稲妻においてこの単語は得意な格好、あるいは行動する奇妙な人を指すようだ。
そうだ。赤羽さんの恩師もそれなりに本土で調査をしていて、どうやらこの歌舞伎者はタタラスナでしばらく生活した後姿を消したらしい。その後に先ほど言っていた変な事件が起きた。
一人の変人がいて、そいつがいなくなった後に殺人事件が起こった。どう考えてもおかしいぞ。
だろう？僕もそう思ったのだ。だから当時タタラスナで起こった事件に関する細かいところを聞き回ったのさ。そしたらなんと、
いきなりでかい声を出す
大事なところだからちょっと強調してみたんだ。そしたらなんと、僕のとある友人が幕府の資料室で働いていて関連を探る手伝いをしてくれたのだ。先ほど出てきた人々は皆400年前の稲妻で生活していたことがはっきりした。当時のタタラスナはすでに稲妻における精錬工業の中心地だった。 そこの最高責任者は庭という官僚だったのだが、面白いことに彼もまた最終的には行方不明となっていた。
Could it be?
失踪したやつがもう一人。
まさにその通り。しかも庭という名字、これがただものじゃない。稲妻の清廉鋳造の名門を知っているか？
清廉鋳造といえば、それって一神殿とかか？
おや、よく知っているな。なら話は早い。この庭というのがあの一神殿最後の後継者である楓原家の縁石だったのだ。その楓原家も後に事件があって落ちぶれたという。詳細な経緯はよく知らないが、これだけ要因が重なっているとどうもいろいろと想像してしまうな。
楓原家。
沢田先生、一番大事なところを忘れているぞ。
There's more?
おっと、僕の記憶としたことがここ一番を忘れていた。皆さん、ここからが本当に大事なところだ。信じてもらえないかもしれないが、これは僕の生涯の中でも前代未聞の。
もったいぶらないで早く。
赤羽さんの恩師の資料によれば、九段の歌舞伎者は人間ではなく人形だったというんだ。
人形？
Shogun puppet that Electro Archon made by ruling Inazuma was. The Kabukimono has to be the boulder, but what was he doing?
おや、お二人の表情から察するに関係ある話を聞いたことが。
The Lionhead Paimon hope she keeps her mouth shut.
いやいや、ただ人形なんてものが物語に出てくるのが変だなと思って。お前の言い方のせいで階段みたいになっちゃったじゃないか。
そう、僕もそう思った。しかし稲妻には確かに人間でない種族がいることを考えると、人形が出てくる事件があってもおかしくはない。だからこの作品を書いたんだ。というわけで一つお目通しを。
Are you for the extract one? Authors are a man arrived in Tajima around 3 in the afternoon from his fired labor, walking along the mountain roads toward the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stone, and walked in like people convinced that so long as there is fire raging in the mountain belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood of the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There a enduring character who stood half of a head taller, greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his word was filled with respect. I deceive me, Sir Miyazaki? I cannot think that the return trip far from Monozuma City could be easy on you. Miyazaki smiled and like a young man taking the first step to the journey, expression like Katsuragi Inazuma ran from Palmodi Shogun. I sail upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea route. What danger I have possible face, and what was the good news? There are some naturally to burst into a uproarious laughter and rigorous rough housing with the other worker until the path's end. Wow, huge. Young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flame of the furnace before him. Now, flames of course are unlike any other, for those Intensity affects the regular integrity of both metal and blade, so to then was like a flame water usual individual as he fingertips fed lizard on his face. He wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper. Within a reasonable person might think that there should be many working alongside the watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki stood into the room did the watcher turn. The watcher was Niwan, armory officer, administrator of Sarsuna, born with Nia clan, which served was one of the trifler of Asian arts. Niwa never argued with his sibling and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post received thus the high standing those who serve as statesmen onto itself. Miyazaki handed a well builded blended bundle takes to Niwa as he adjusts his expression. He said, "It was you, as you said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of your plan. Yet I still believe it be worthy a try. As I found your paper vendor procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text, noted the should try some this new forging technique. Whether the katana says yeah or nay, Katsura, Katsuragi found and with the shrine he said the forging is precise and difficult to undertake. You know this better than a master and skill. You seek improvement each day with terrifying drive, and you should know my Lord Nagamasa. Yet this soreness in his face shall be heard. Niwa said, replying, I, how go, how goes the forging of your lord's blade, Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his two friends. Yet he could not think of any way to deflect or so ghost. I see your ears are keen as your hands, Niwa. The jokes as unlearned are nothing as before you. Miyazaki hid his grin upon hearing Niwa release the laser from his hand into Carsonicum, just as more wood were to be exchanged. Someone came, walking nearby. Their footsteps light with celebrity of youth. The head that peeked into it was round. In the light of the fire, looked like it oil jeweled. The young man placed some box food at the side, nodding. The prepared to leave. Katsuragi called out him, "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat?" The young man, upon hearing this, found himself slightly at a loss. While at he answered, "Very well, I'll try. You are welcome to the food. We all should eat the same fare." After all, Niwa said. The man nodded and left, thinly defense. Why did I started to read it again? The kabuki mono was by the coast. Sunset fell into the complete darkness. The bands of twilight slowed themselves to not, for in their place did thunderclouds roll, grumbling. The omens of coming brainstorm. Darkness filled the flash of the sea, and dusk laid the clouds to kneel upon the land. Its most supplication mirroring the Kabukimono with pointed towards the water. None passed the way, and none knew what was he waiting for. In silence, Tang forces unleashed counted steel back cloud suddenly flew free from the sky and began to circle Kabukimono here, bearing down on him like nightmare. The thought he was not aware at first, through his studying gaze was refined by the time he understood that these clouds were marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fish boat drew near, the light bar of its bow flickering in and out, and sight of beneath filling sheet of rain, a mist unspoiled across the area, stealing sight of from fishermen. Reportedly, he exclaimed, It is but dusk. How are your eyes darken? Darken it? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon set tide, like failing spear? The black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in bareness, uh, bareness, whatever direction. Like changing beasts, they plunge into the shoreline. Shorelines can stare away. The Kabuki would idly turn his head to study the grand wreck, not but half of her arm was left on the left of but half an arm was left on of the one who cried out for help with a plop landed on Kabuki feet. He crouched better to study the object standing against the woods to take a bite of it. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down already picked a remnant of a ship train. The Kabuki started at blankly like an awakening dreaming remorse when he returned to himself, for the crowds had scattered as they had never been there at all. As for those sheep could be been struck down by storm, was who was to know, not like Kabuki. Katsuragi rushed into the doorway, shouted, "My lord, things were ill at Furnace. I still search for Niwa, but there is no trace of him. Much time has passed since Miyazaki left Sick Aid, but he was yet to send us any mercy. Look, Miyokoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grief as one attending the funeral. He spoke, and then his word heavy landed. I do wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki never returned. Katsuragi peered past Nagamasa's board, stiff shoulder beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in the wave of black, as if the darkness of now was only weather might mean morphed into abyssal beast and devoured 30% of whole. About 10 people had been already perished. That was why Katsuragi recoiled as if it struck, as it was coming from him. It's in drips and drabs. That was why they had to set out the cicade. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The cloud had only set to begin to form, traveling from Katasuma to Inazuma. To ask for support was normally no great feat, yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by third, fourth, till the Kabuki himself had departed from the tides up under foul skies and ominous fortune. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own. It pained him greatly to see the lad go, yet the situation in Tatarasuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more, as it would been worth gain assistance from Inazuma's Nero has gone, none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the forest. Often, Hope begins to wonder if Nia might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned and wondered if he fled, unwilling to be at the scene of having caused this incident. The people grew even more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself saying him, "What the?" Yes, his discontent, fury, his face had gone into resemble the. Suddenly, a figure flashed, and their presence did not unnoticed by silken veil in the intruder wore. For a moment, they swayed, then, like a marionette pulled by a string, they moved. dare address Sarniwa directly, yet figured parted like a mist before his failing blade only to be materialized beyond reach, but not beyond a sight. A ghastly appreciation indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagamasa howled, and Charles, held back by only Kasaragi, desperate grip, and as his sense returned to him, he realized that he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the remained unfinished from the however, apparent it is apparent that this novel is fantastical, colorful, sensible, born from Inazuma will realize.
ぜひ私の論文の書稿も一緒に。
待って。No, what the god. Still, this text belongs to the series of works sponsored by the Vahumana Way Carter's projects. It has been unnumbered author of Akaba. Fact. The Tatasuna area has been always been two major pillars of the Inazuma Spacing industry. Two incidents have been explored here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. As we believe more, however, there might be a hidden history behind the events that inspire. Hence, this paper will analyze that they may have unfolded for the available data. Glossary, Tazarukuna area, Golden Earth, Raiden, Koto, Gokaden, Mikoshi, Nagamasa, Kabuki, Mono. Introduction. This paper contains the example of work for my mentor, Mr. Rumi, his reporter, Happy Hidden Trials, Tasashuma, his intent further his ability research. According to the data, the blade forging technique Inazuma were originally down from the Archon, also known as the Rising Shogun, using the arts that they inherent their Archon. The people of Inazuma devoted themselves to process the forging. However, stunning our strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of the metalwork, yet lingering about the Tatsushima, which was central figure of the forging industry. There was Mikoshi and Nia clans along the eccentric puppet. There served as three windows that inside we investigate the throat behind the body. Strange for notes from the Tatsushima area. The contents as follows. Perhaps I overstate, but I think I don't. But I think that Sarnaga Masagur's mood grow better when he first played. The obsession to cleanse the strain. The name of Mikoshi must eat him. Also, Katsuragi discovered the nameless eccentric, eccentric while patrolling around Nazushi Beach. The inspector bought a certain number of fake-blade ingots. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice ceremony officer. We at last made a small nagamaki. We called it Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was a high spirit, and the vice ceremony officer Nozumu was taken by the beauty of Daitatara that he drew from picture, and we performed a small sword dance, wandering eccentric, and we could not find the eccentric. The inspector flew into a left the Katsura. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace flame. Nozumu could not abide by the order and drew the complete melted weapon out of the furnace. He horribly burned. Nozumu died the night I dare say. And while Sir Katsuragi may have committed maleficent. It was but a goodness of his heart. Kinjiro hit the Nagamaki and Nozumu's join Arsenal. The Nagamasa is harsh, but also Nagamasa is harsh, but also right from wrong. Even he is not as amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I had some Tatashuna could not did by the matter. Nagama's small mother, Chio, we trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating Daitaratara Nagamasa with him, the joy of watching Nameless and Eccentric perform the sword dance with the Katsuragi. Before withdraw, we should leave divided the arsenal key into the three parts. One for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one for, to be left in the Tatarsuma itself to prevent thief. But we are too much of a hurry. Either way, the inspector nor the armory officer could be founded. So I was bold to hide the three pieces in within the treasure chest in possession of the seven notes mentioned. The prior have been scattered across the treasure area. Among the seven notes, six seem to be good physical integrity through all the looks are quite old, while at last one was recent. I believe there are six notes and the last one were different time periods. So though the gulf in years between team need to verify the contents of the first six should also be related in each other. A incident mentioned consent with another. Rumi once said, happily hidden tales. Happily. Author yeah, part of her for Hidden Tale. That is was researcher from Sumaru had investigated the culture for histories of Tatsuma and Inazuma through the place where has fallen into the degree of despair. Disrepair, since the Hidden Tales was written, things have been improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless of what used to be the area measure industry remained place not to be in hospitable and resident of the Tsushima might may be found living and dwelling by the water. The resident, when questioned by the question the told researcher, Tatsushina Golden Age centuries ago when it was administered by the armory officer, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and the Inspector Miyakoshi Nagamasa had the elders among the local deeper ties into the region of also seem to be destroys. The fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland past a great many of those rumors revolve around the yokai who are the very characters of Inazuma folk history. A small portion of, however, repeatedly mentioned that word puppet. It should known that the puppet were neither operation nor common worker in the Inazuma. This fact drew attention to researchers to delve further and eventually following the piece of information puppet did once appear in Tatsushima. It via stage with was elegant. Its apparel impeccable and the way dressed it all the giant blinds itself. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would hardly would tell. And additionally, the puppet seems to possess a special giant that would fade by the time, potentially having disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. Through the name puppet was known to be almost none. Some folks claim to be spotted in the spotted in appearing around Tatasuna, while other mentioned encountered the central region of the area. Some even claim it would be infrequent, which tales spread it standing beyond the sea, gazing across the waters towards Inazuma City. What it was the puppet gazing at the remaining mystery. As mentioned earlier, the six note all documents certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which also we read as Kabukimono, is usually used as the Inazuma to refer figure who dress and behave particularly particular manner. It understandable, therefore, why this character would have left a first impression should be the people of Tazuna indeed have had puppet in their midst in ring basic panic. A good possibility considering coexistence between yokai and human in Inazuma at large, then the puppet would have very likely become a local resident. Which what is less well known is the Kabukimono was one other title of this puppet, perhaps because it was uniquely dressed into a distracted attention from from its more special characteristic workable history theory, but one of the still lacks workable theory, but one of the still lacks enough evidence to support it. To, it can be retained by analytical lens. A list of individual related to Tsushima was compiled based on the history documents from Inazuma, starting from the administrator from the follow Amar Officer Niwa, full name Niwa Hisa Hisahide. He was the interior of Ishin art and successor of Niwa clan. He was its family along with his Akame and Kayadhara clans. Akame were together known as the Ishin Sanso Sansaku. Records show the Niwa of the modest of the intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of the territory, and his eventual bouts were unknown, but he was suspected to be left Tachasuna with his family following the incident. Vice Armory Miyazaki, full name Miyazaki Kanio. He was second in command, his origin unknown. His primarily assisted in forcing and personal management. He was also a built armament and friends in the region, including one Miyokoshi Nagamasa, Inspector Miyokoshi Nagamasa, the successor of Miyokoshi clan, adopted son of Oni warrior Miyokoshi Chiyo, and the younger adopted brother to Miyokoshi Michi Hiro, also known as Yakura, the successor, with his mother missing, amended by his brother Nagamasa or the holy name, striving daily, wiped the shame from his history, from their history through recorded. Said the Shinagamasu was a strong figure. He was also noted that a person with normal virtue and integrity. It has been noted the various records that he predicted opposing swords in self-civilization, special requested, special inspection. Miyazaki to further his capabilities, however, after his famous play the Daitatara Nagamasa was forced he used to slay his subordinate Katsuragi for some reason unknown at first. Subordinate Katsuragi full name was pagan unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I've yet to found anyone additional person information regarding him as one of the Miyokoshi Nagamasa subordinate. He was a loyal warrior who has been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then, he swore a stick by his lord through the thick and thin to give his life to serve it. Was who was but asked of him. Kabukimono, full name unknown, outground background unknown. From the many sources I have compared to Rumi's personal observation, this character has might been uh, the puppet mentioned by the rumors. Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentle. gentleness. According to the hidden tale, he was brought back to the Tatsunaka by Katsuragi and became a member of community. When the Kabukimono who first left the Tatsunaka, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or working at the metropolis nature. The local taught him their skill over time, showing how to clean his attire, dance, crafts, small trinkets. Record state that Kamukimono was there. The Daitara Nagamasa was forced through his trail before Nagamasa. Mikoshi Nagamasa sleeves Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabukimono was indeed aforementioned puppet that he would likely had in hand Katsuragi's death. It seems that this operation unfinished. One of the things is for sure. What thought has been put into it.
澤田先生は私の論文を彼の創作の方向性に合わせてほしいと思っているようだ。だが私は論文とはもっと現実に即したものであるべきだと思っている。細かいところを全て不思議な力で片付けてしまうべきではない。澤田先生のお話の中ではっきりと言えない部分を全て政治的要素に結びつけるのはどうだろう。例えばこの事件の本質はいくつかの勢力の縄張り争いだったとか。
論文ってそんな適当にでっち上げていいものなのか？
Yeah,
おいら
someone like a
てっ
novel.
きりお前が書いてる方が小説なのかと思ったぜ。
Has this guy even ever written an essay before?
赤羽さん、君の恩師があれだけ時間をかけて積み重ねた調査と僕の人脈をもってしてもたったこれだけの資料しかなかったんだ。もうこれ以上は深入りできない。しかも本当に君の言う通り、この件が極めて重大でよその勢力闘争にまで関係しているのなら、なおさら真相を知るつてなんてないだろう。
はあ、それもそうだな。もう少し考えてみるよ。少し時間をくれ。新しい切り口を考え直す。
まだ用事があるから先に行くぞ。論文頑張ってくれよ。
ああ、ありがとう。もしこの件に関する情報があればぜひ私に教えてくれ。
おい、さっき言ってた件だけど残票と関係があるんだろ？じゃあもし何か分かったとしても参考として教えてあげられることなんてないよな。だって残票のやつはオイラたちに倒されて囚人になったんだぞ。オイラに言わせれば赤羽は課題を変えた方がいいと思うぞ。課題なんてものは世界中の大樹くらいいっぱいあるんだ。別に。うわあ！おい、さっきの人影を見たか？いきなり通り過ぎてったあれ、あっちに行ったけど、あれは残票？いや、そんなはずないぞ。だってあいつは閉じ込められてたはずじゃ。早く追いかけてみようぜ。
Yes, what a night.